How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Hop Butcher up in this piece in the form of their Stonefroze. Yeah, this is a triple IPA. Itty bitty boy. Citra and Medusa hopped. Triple India Pale Ale brewed with agave. Okay. 10.5% alcohol by volume, art by Dan Jetza, and they talk about their tasty notes at the back, which is sticky mango, ripe guava, and pleasant dank. Probably one of the cooler labels I've seen from Hop Butcher. Dan Jetza definitely has his style, and it comes through in this art, but this comes out very, like, Picasso-like to me. So we'll see how this one plays. This one comes courtesy of Hop Butcher, as pretty much all their beers have come from, except for the few first ones I've ever done. Those actually came from other beer mails. So yeah, I dig on that label art. And as far as the beer goes, it's orange. How about that? Who would have thunk it? Rich, dark orange core, a little bit lighter on the edges, super tight compact bubbles. Not much I've had to speak of. About a quarter of a pinky finger, done and done. So here's the trick. We're dealing with, your typical Citra and Medusa. You don't see a lot of Medusa hopped IPAs are called out that way. Triple N IPA, okay, brewed with agave. What are we dealing with when we're going with agave? Most people think of agave, think of tequila. It's been used in beer before. I don't know if I've ever had it in like a triple IPA. So here's the dilly. Agave is basically just kind of some weird kind of bastardized cousin. It has nothing to do with it, but it's kind of how people use it. Bastardized cousin of honey. It's kind of like, think about honey as a natural sweetener. Agave is kind of that. It's like the vegan root of an artificial, or not natural sweetener, not an artificial sweetener. The big difference here is not, honey's not fully fermentable. Agave, I believe, is pretty much like 100% fermentable. So my guess is what they're trying to do here is they're trying to do a triple IPA, trying to do a huge malt bill, and then use the agave as like a brewer sugar to kind of keep that malt bill down. That's my guess on this one. It doesn't look that way. It's a lot darker than what you'd expect when you're using a ton of brewer sugars, especially when it comes to these kind of triple IPAs, but it's a triple IPA, so she looks the part. Let's even get a nose. Yeah, soft dankness, a bit of sweetness going on, not overly sweet. I think that's your agave kind of doing a part of the fermenting right there. Not a huge malt bill, just basically sweet, a little bit of soft citrus, nothing too crazy. Maybe tropical fruit vibes. It's not a huge beer in the nose, let's put it that way. It comes off, that hop hits a little bit harsh in a good way. It's, it's very generic, that prickly part of it. Other than that, it's kind of a soft kind of riding between that sweetness and that hoppiness. There's really not a super overly descript kind of nose to give you guys, other than like a generic kind of tropical fruit berry kind of vibe going on. Let's dive in. Cheers. Ooh. It's got a really nice mouthfeel to it. Yeah, by far and away, let's put it that way, by far and away the best mouthfeel I've ever had from a triple IPA that didn't include lactose. Like, that good. It's kind of like eking up towards like lactose level triple IPA mouthfeel. It's big. It's robust. But at the same time, it's not like super big and robust. I don't know how to put it. I'm acting like weird right now. It's not a small beer. When you drink it, you're drinking something of impact. There is a big kind of hop presence to it. There's nothing too big kind of sweet-wise. There's a big kind of slightly vegetal kind of berry-like kind of vibe going on in here. But then again, it's not that loud. It's very weird. You can tell that's a big beer, but it's relatively easily drinking. It's very much a kind of juxtaposition, kind of oxymoron, whatever you want to call it, of itself. It's kind of a Hop Butcher beer, to be perfectly honest with you. Agave, I've had it before. I can't really tell you if I'm tasting much of any kind of agave in here. There's like a soft kind of like, I don't know, I would say more of like a slightly kind of earthy component that I would attribute a lot of times to hops, but I'm not really getting it. in that way hops present it, so I assume that might be a little bit of an agave thing going on, but agave's not overly sweet either. I assume, again, it's used there as purely or fermentable, and it's just kind of used... I assume the mouthfeel, the bomb-ass mouthfeel, is coming from a ton of oats and a combination of that agave, because, like I said, I've never had a triple IPA that didn't use lactose that had this sultry of a mouthfeel. The hops are expressive but not overpowering. It's a sweet beer for sure. It's 10.5%, but it's not overpowering. It's a weird beer. It's like jumbo shrimp. It's, scorchingly... I don't know. There was going to be something there. I couldn't think of it. But you know what I'm trying to say. It's it just has this kind of bigness to it while still staying small. This is probably one of the worst reviews I've ever done. Because I just really can't kind of get the words, get what I'm trying to say out here, because I think it's a really weird beer. That in and of itself makes me enjoy it. I'm not the biggest triple IPA guy in the world. They usually leave me wanting, and this one does, to a bit. There's a big kind of... That tropical fruit berry thing really popped up right there, and that was pretty cool. It's drinks... Well, at the same time, I know I'm drinking a 10% beer. It drinks way easier than what I'd... Not easier, way less impactful is the word I'm looking for, than 10% beer, but I don't hate it for what it's doing. Again, the mouthfeel's absolutely fantastic. This would be like, for all you lactose intolerant people out there, if you want to know what like a lactose triple IPA feels like, this is pretty much the closest you're going to get to it without actually having it. So that in of itself is cool. That's a very cool trick they pulled. I'm going to have to just really dig on it for that point and that point only, because it does come off very similar to a lot of triple IPAs that don't use lactose. There tends to be this kind of thinness and kind of slight harshness when it comes to a lot of triple IPAs that are brewed nowadays, or ever. That really, I believe, a well-planned additional lactose kind of smooths out and just makes a more pleasurable drinking beer. This beer has kind of figured out that without using lactose, while at the same time having a little bit of edge to it, which is kind of fun. So let's put it this way. Let's cut to the chase. Is this one of the better triple IPAs I've had? It's in a conversation. It's not number one, but at the same time, if you were to kind of whittle it down to, is it one of the more interesting ones I've had? It probably is number one. Just the combination of how it plays, that back and forth between it's a big, it's a small, it's a large, it's a tiny kind of beer back and forth is fun in and of itself. When you start to think about the trick it pulled off from getting that kind of mouthfeel from a non-lactose based beer, it's kind of really fun. Bonus points for using agave, because I haven't had it before in a triple IPA, so there you go. But yeah, I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting, but then again, triple IPAs aren't my bag, so take that for what it's worth. And let's see. Valued availability, Hop Butcher. Gotta go get it, but you get it at stores. You don't get it at the brewery, so take that for what it's worth and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you like triple IPAs, you like lactose IPAs, but you're lactose intolerant, you want to try something that's kind of versioning in that area. I want to iterate, it doesn't taste like a lactose IPA. Just that mouthfeel mimics that. So, and I think that's one of the biggest, positives when it comes to lactose in beer in general. So you're kind of getting that without the lactose. So if you're, lactose intolerant, you want to get that kind of vibe. You just like interesting beer. Listen, interesting beer and Hop Butcher go hand in hand. So that's no kind of news story. But, let's put it this way. I'm mildly interested in the triple IPA. I think that in of itself speaks volumes. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Interviewed the guys from Hop Butcher to go check them out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little Hop Butcher right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.